that's possibly that's possibly also answers your question, that as far as Ambedkar was concerned, how he would look at how would look at Ambedkar's approach, and how it would be different from Gandhi's, right? So as far as Gandhi is concerned, for Gandhi of course considered that uh, as far as Hinduism is concerned, Hinduism as a religion would show the way, right? Gandhi had a deep or innate faith in the powers of the values that Hindu religion offers, right? But how they would differ in terms of their political approach, that we are yet to discuss. And that is where we will also look at that how Gandhi and Ambedkar, they would confront each other during the round table conferences between 1930 and 32, and how they would view the whole aspect of separate electorates, right? So that is something we are yet to discuss. But that is what we can understand as far as difference in approach of Gandhi and Ambedkar is concerned, right? So approach towards the social problem. So in Ambedkar's understanding, the whole problem was related to the inherent caste structures, and in his understanding that as far as the problem is concerned, unless you have experienced the problem yourself, you would never be in a position to address the problem. So that is where possibly he would not accept the leadership of a Gandhi, of a person like Gandhi in the whole process, right? But as I told you, Gandhi had a different approach. Gandhi had a different understanding of religion, and the role perhaps one can see as far as moral aspect of a human being is concerned. So for Gandhi, eventually one has to understand the larger moral values, and it is only by appealing to the larger moral values changes can be brought about in the society, right? So there were problems. There were problems in the form of discriminations of the lower caste, members. But in Gandhi's understanding, this had more a moral dimension rather than political dimension, right? This had a dimension wherein one has to look at the changes that a person may bring about in his heart, rather than giving more and more power in the political realm. And although we will see that Gandhi would not reject altogether, or Gandhi would not deny altogether that some form of empowerment would become necessary, right? But Gandhi would not consider that power or political power is a means through which changes can be brought about in the society. So that's where the major difference in approach between Gandhi and Ambedkar, right? So for Gandhi, the changes to be permanent and the changes to be everlasting has to happen in the moral dimension of the human being, right? Changes have to have there in the heart of the people, right? One has always to appeal to the good side of the human being. But for Ambedkar, the diagnosis of the problem, that was something different. It was primarily because he was trying to look at the lack of empowerment and absence of any effective representation. So that is how he would understand. But Gandhi would understand that as far as representation is concerned, representation is not to be seen in compartments as far as the members of the Hindu religion were concerned. So he would not look at deprived castes as a separate category, right? For them, for Gandhi, they were very much a part of the Hindu fold, and that is where we'll find that how it becomes a point of difference between Gandhi and Ambedkar. That point is yet to come, and which we would discuss more, right? And as far as India's freedom from the British was concerned, of course, Ambedkar understood that freedom would be important as far as India was concerned, And certainly in Ambedkar's understanding, this freedom has to come in gradual means, right? So by participating in the political processes which were being introduced under different legislative reforms, India could achieve its freedom eventually from the British. So this is how one would look at as far as Ambedkar's understanding of freedom would be concerned. But as we would see, Ambedkar would always emphasize that as far as his political identity would be concerned, as far as his political existence would be concerned, right? So that would be something which would be independent. That would be something which would be different from Congress, in some way or the other. But we will see more of it when we discuss how Ambedkar establishes three different political parties at three different points of time, and how it was linked to again his whole understanding that as far as the depressed classes were concerned. So unless they would have an identity which can be asserted politically, then possibly empowerment could happen, and then possibly they would have some kind of a status, some kind of a status in the society. So that we will see, right? That we will see, right? Okay. So I think that's what answers questions, right? That has been sent to me by Abhishek, right? Okay, Abhishek, does that answer your questions? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So that's where possibly we can conclude our discussions for today, right? And again we will we'll meet tomorrow for more discussions on Ambedkar's thought, right? So one thing, as I told you, that we will discuss as far as his whole approach to politics is concerned, number one. And number two, his further explanations with respect to the with respect to the understanding of caste and caste structures, and how he thinks that there could be possible solutions to the problems of discrimination related to caste, right? So that's what we'll come to, right? Okay. But certainly one can add here that he was for political changes. He was for changes through political means. But certainly, Ambedkar had belief in the methods of parliamentary democracy. So that is something he would highlight time and again, and that is something we find as far as his whole political career, right from 1930s till his death in 1956 is concerned, right? Okay. Clear hai? Can we conclude our discussions here? Then we meet tomorrow again, same time, huh?
Okay.
Okay, right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.